I seek refuge and begin in the name of God Almighty, and peace and blessings be upon His righteous prophet and all His righteous slaves. And peace and blessings be upon you all. Welcome. Today I'm going to talk to you about the myth of time traveling. Well, why am I talking about it, and why do I call it a myth? Well, in the first place, why am I talking about it? Well, I'm talking about it because we've seen the scientist society, especially the atheist scientist society, have always been making fun of us believers, especially the monotheist believers, and they associate to us issues that we don't even believe in. For example, the flat earth theory. Now, nobody is a die-hard flat earther. Nobody actually is fighting to prove that the earth is flat, and never did actually, because you look up in the sky and you look at the sun, and you see what shape it is. It's a sphere. Then you look up in the sky and you look at the moon, and what shape it is. It is a sphere. So what shape would the earth be? The most obvious shape that comes to your mind is a sphere, of course. And astronomers from centuries ago have always been drawing celestial objects, and you see them drawing as spheres. So why did the church fight with the scientist society on this issue? Well, that was only the fight for proving the scientists to be wrong. They only wanted to present an alternate opinion. They only wanted to counter the opinion presented by the atheist scientist, and that's it. They were never actually trying to prove that the earth is flat. They were only trying to tell people that we cannot take everything these scientists give us. We cannot believe in everything these scientists tell us. And that's very much true, because like 30 years ago when I was in the school, I studied that the sun is stationary. It does not move. But now I know that the sun is not stationary. It's actually moving. The sun and the moon and everything is moving towards a destined target. And until a few months ago, we believed that the Big Bang was the beginning of the universe. But now, today, we know that Big Bang was not the beginning of the universe. It was just a lap, actually. So these theories change, and these theories are not something that we should blindly follow. These theories should be questioned. For example, the theory of evolution. Well, we'll talk about it some other day. The another example is this another theory of time traveling, that which I'm going to talk to you today. Well, the scientists believe that there are basically main three ways. There are a lot of ways, but three main ways by which time traveling is possible. The first of which is the concept that is based on the speed of light. What is the speed of light? For all those who know what is the speed of light, good, welcome. But for those who do not know what the speed of light is, I'll explain it to you in a minute. For example, when you light a bulb, the light comes out of that bulb and reaches the wall next to it. So when the light comes out of that bulb and reaches the wall next to it, it did take some time for that light to come out of that bulb and reach the wall next to it. It did take some time. It did take a fraction of a second. It did take the billionth part of the second, but it did take some time. So imagine if this light continued traveling at the same speed at the bulb and reached the wall next to it. So imagine if this light continued traveling beyond your house, beyond your district, beyond your county, beyond your country, beyond the earth. Within 8 minutes it would reach the sun. And if it still continued traveling beyond the sun, imagine a point where it would reach in a year. That is 1 light year. Now you know. So the scientists believe that if some astronaut had a spacecraft that could travel faster than the speed of light, what would happen then? For example, the Sirius is a star that we see in the night sky. It's about 4.5 light years away from us. So if a scientist had a spacecraft that could travel faster than the speed of light, for example 2 times or 3 times or 4 times faster than the speed of light, then this guy could reach Sirius in just 1 year, right? You got this point? So when this guy takes off from Earth in January 2022, and with this spacecraft that could run 4 times faster than the speed of light, by January 2023 he'd already reached Sirius, right? But for the people who are standing on this Earth with a telescope pointed towards Sirius, on the same point, same location where this astronaut is going to launch, is going to land, these guys see nothing over there. In January 2023, when this guy has already landed on Sirius, on the point where he was going to land, now the scientists, astronomers who are looking with a telescope at that same point where he is going to land on Sirius, they see nothing over there. Why? Because our vision is based on light, and as Sirius is 4.5 light years away from us, the vision of Sirius that we get today is actually 4 years old. Means the Sirius you see now is not what it looks like now. It is what it looked like 4 years ago. It is what it looked like in 2018, right? So the scientists are not going to be able to look at this astronaut or see this astronaut landing on Sirius. They would only see him landing on Sirius in 2027. In January 2027, they are going to actually see this astronaut land on Sirius at the point where they were looking for him to land. So by this time, by 2027, this guy is already back to Earth, and this guy is actually standing here with a telescope in 2027, and he is looking at the same point where he actually landed on Sirius. So what he is doing with the telescope on the face of this Earth, the telescope is faced towards the Sirius, and he is actually looking at himself landing on Sirius. You understand this part? So he is looking, so he has got a telescope, he's looking at Sirius with that telescope, and he sees himself landing on Sirius, which he did in 2023. So what is this? Is this time traveling? Is he looking at his past, or the person on the Sirius looking at his future? No, this is not time traveling. Even if this is possible, even if we had a spacecraft that could travel 4 times faster than the speed of light, and even if we could reach Sirius, and even if all these possibilities are possible, yet this does not qualify as time traveling. This could only qualify as time viewing. What he is doing here is only viewing his past, or in a case viewing his future. He's not visiting his past, he's not visiting his future. So this is not time traveling, this is just time visiting. This is just time viewing, this is not time visiting. So this does not qualify as time traveling. So the second way by which the scientists believe that the time traveling is possible is through the black hole. The scientists believe that if someone entered a black hole, he would escape time. He would no longer be bound to time. He can see the future, the past, the beginning, the end, and everything. He can see everything because he's escaped time if he enters black hole. Well, the nearest known black hole to us was 4.5 billion light years away from us. But the recent discoveries last year, the scientists, the astronomers believe that we have discovered a black hole that is 1500 light years away from us. So even if we had a spacecraft that could travel 10 times faster than the speed of light, yet it would take 150 years for us to reach the nearest black hole. We might have to start an entire civilization on that spacecraft. But what after that? Even if we started an entire civilization on that spacecraft and reached a black hole in 150 years somehow, what would happen to that civilization? There are scientists who believe that the magnetic field around the black hole is so strong that it would crush anything that comes around it, that anything that comes in near area of that black hole. The magnetic field around the black hole would crush it into molecules. So this entire civilization that took 150 years for them to reach the black hole, they would be crushed into molecule. So this theory is also impractical. This is not possible. This is simply mythological. The third way by which they believe that time traveling is possible is the concept based on the timeline. You know what is timeline? If you've been watching a movie, or especially editing a movie, you can see a timeline down there, which can show you the beginning, the middle, the past, and the end of that movie. You can see everything in that timeline, and you can skip wherever you want to. You can go to the end, you can go to the beginning. Similarly, we are on this timeline. The scientists believe we are on this timeline, and if someone could actually get to that timeline, and if possibly travel through that timeline, he can visit the future, the past, and the beginning, the end, and everything. And this timeline is multidimensional. Now, what does multidimensional mean? Well, if you've seen the movie Men in Black, I don't remember which part, but in one of the Man in Black movie, these guys, the Man in Black, Will Smith and the other guy, they meet this character in a baseball stadium, and this guy is an alien who can see the future and the past and everything. And he's watching a baseball match, and he tells that the player, he tells them about a player who is playing in the baseball court, and he tells them that this guy, if his father would have had an extra beard that night, he would have been born as a girl and could have been a cheerleader instead of a male player. So he's actually pointing towards the multidimensional possibilities of a scene. I'll explain it to you. For example, this water bottle here. So this water bottle is here at 7:30 a.m. This bottle is here. So what I do is I pick it up and I keep it here, right? I keep it here. So this place where this bottle was at 7:30 p.m. is actually a place which I can visit. I can go to that place, I can look at that place, I can examine that place, right? Similarly, the time when this bottle was here, the time 7:30 a.m. is actually also a place, is actually a point which I can visit, which I can go in the past and look at that time. Look at that time when this bottle was here. So the question then rises is that what happens if I actually visit that place when at 7:30 a.m. when this bottle was here, and I actually pick this bottle up, and I, instead of placing it here, I place it here somewhere else. I'm placing it somewhere else. So what happens then? Am I changing the history? I'm changing the timeline? No. The timeline, according to the quantum physicist, is a multidimensional timeline. So in some other dimension, I'm actually placing this bottle somewhere else, and that is continuing in that dimension. It's confusing. It's very confusing. So my point is this, that if you can believe all these complex theories which are like very difficult to comprehend, then why can't you believe in a God who actually built this universe and is governing this universe, which is more easier for you to comprehend? I believe it is more easier for us to comprehend that there is a God Almighty who actually started this universe and is governing that universe. In these complex theories that are really difficult to understand, and I have been proven wrong time and again. There are theories, there are new theories coming up, and that actually disapprove the older theories. So we cannot. So the point remains the same, that we cannot take everything these scientists give us. We cannot believe in everything that science tells us. Science is not inflammable. Science has also they also have theories and concepts and beliefs and systems that are just like the mythologies of the Greeks and the Romans and just like that. So I hope you understand. Thank you for watching. God bless.